Now, 6-month-old tear gassed by ICE while the parents were, I guess, coming home from a game.
I was stuck.
Destiny and Sean Jackson, along with their 6 kids, had just left a nearby grocery store after the game when they turned onto Lyndale. Sean says they tried to take a side street after they saw the crowds.
There's nothing we can do if it's blocked off.
Sean and Destiny say they were stuck between crowds of protesters and law enforcement. When law enforcement tried to disperse the crowd,
all we heard was boom, and every airbag deployed.
They say a flashbang went off near their car as tear gas enveloped them.
And I was screaming to my oldest son, Sean, I'm like, get out, get out. Like, I can't, Mom, and I can't breathe.
Destiny says bystanders pulled her into a home to check on her as she screamed that her 6-month-old child was still in the car.
He was just like lifeless, like he had like foam like around his mouth, and you can he had tears coming out his eyes. I was giving him mouth to mouth, and I remember stopping and I said, I will give you all my breath till you get yours back. Because
I found a video on this, but I wanted to actually share some better, more precise insight concerning this, and I'm gonna tell you what I feel afterwards. Okay, so it's 2 content creators. Yo, shout out to Jules, man, great content creator. I'm gonna put this out here, and you tell me when we're all said and done, is this legitimate or not?
I remember that family that was on their way home from basketball practice, and they said that ICE threw tear gas at their car, and it almost killed their 6-month-old baby. And then everybody said, see, told y'all black people was next. They targeting black people. Remember that? Look who was found at the protest an hour before their car was hit with tear gas. There go to mom. Just chilling. Didn't seem like they was just coming home from basketball practice and they happened to get caught on the street with ICE. Seemed to me like they part of the crowd. In the video, it was hard to spot the dad, but you can see in this picture right here that dad was in the same crowd. Now, what's crazy is that the point that I made was for the original story they told, which is now proven to be a lie, which was that, why are you stopping at a peaceful crowd with babies in the back seat when you know the block is hot? Because they said they stopped at the crowd and they saw the mother-in-law there, and next thing you know, ICE was in front of them and behind them, boxed them in, tear gas went off, baby couldn't breathe. Even with that story, I was like, why are you stopping at a crowd with a baby in the back seat? But now you telling me y'all was at this protest for a full hour with the kids in the car.
With the kids in the car. The video says it all, and I'm a believer, this is me. Most of the stuff that you guys are seeing concerning people that have either been attacked by ICE, I saw one with Islamic lady, a Muslim lady. She was talking with the hijab on in a press conference on how ICE stopped her and called her the N-word. I'm going to leave it like that. I think these people are exaggerating or plain out lying. That's my opinion. You leave a comment, you tell me how you feel. Because when I looked at this incident and I started to look at the other incident, I was like, dang, this is real. They're literally trying to find sympathy with the masses for being attacked by ICE, or saying they've been attacked by ICE. So they're using it to find sympathy with the masses. I don't believe it's pure. I don't believe it's right. I don't believe it's anything other than some intentional move to either blow up and make things larger than what it was. And it's crazy that a black family would actually be in this like this. But hey, man, sometimes everybody need a shot at just their 5 minutes of fame. And I think this is their 5 minutes of fame that they're trying to capitalize.
It's far much worse than I thought. And I gave them the benefit of the doubt. I didn't even say they were lying. I just said, why would you stop at a crowd with children in the back? This video shows them chilling in that same crowd for an hour before the incident went down. Where were the kids then? Like, curious to know on what the other side thinks. The ones that were like, told y'all black people was next. They were targeted. I'm curious to know what y'all think about this. Don't forget, they allegedly came up with $200,000 with a GoFundMe. Allegedly. I'm curious to know what y'all think about this now. Even the fathers.
Dang, $200K on a GoFundMe? Yeah, this is a bag play like I've never seen, bro.
Responses to the news interview questions was off because they was like, "Where are your kids at now?" And he was like, "Yeah, they headed to the hospital right now. They can't breathe." That's it. Your kids almost died, and you sitting there talking about, "Yeah, I guess they headed there." Everybody in the comments like, "Please stop. He's in shock." Okay.
Ooh.
They were at the protest for almost an hour before their 6-month-old got pepper sprayed by ICE. And I have the video that can prove it. So dispatch picked up this
Shout out to the creator on this. You guys doing a great job.
call at 9:22.
Forward to respond for now. On the corner of 23rd and Lindale Avenue North, we got a report of a baby that's been exposed to tear gas.
Now, keep in mind that the story is they weren't part of the protest. They were just trying to get home after a basketball game. But lo and behold, someone was recording at that protest. And look who they ran across. And the crazy thing about that clip and this clip is that they were posted around 8:30 p.m. Almost 1 hour before that call was made. That's a long time for someone that is just trying to get home.
Yeah. 5 minutes of fame. That's all these people are reaching for. And you may say, Leon, but the baby got pepper sprayed. I have yet to believe like the entirety of that. And I'm going to tell you why. You can bring your children out for a protest and not consider the fact that they're going to get pepper sprayed. That alone should tell you that it's fraudulent. That alone should tell you it's fraudulent. You don't bring kids out to this, man. This is not that's not kid. If anything, you know what? I feel like they need to have charges brought against them. Somebody needs to do something about that because they're collecting GoFundMe money for a fraudulent claim that they were pepper sprayed. Their child was pepper sprayed. Now you say, yeah, their child was pepper sprayed. We can see the medical report. The problem I have with that is your child should never have been there. Oh no. Your child should never have been there. If your child wasn't there, we wouldn't have this conversation. Who brings their child to a protest and then claims the child who is not an adult, who can't handle himself in the middle of all that crowd, who's dependent on you? This should be child abuse, if anything else. So if you guys are for the children, be for the parents being accountable for the children. Because a lot of times, man, some instances where children could have been prevented by the parents just being watchful. We know things happen and kids get caught out and they do what they want to do. Sometimes even as little kids, 9 years old, 10 years old, they can run. I've seen kids run out from the parent in a parking lot. I'm like, the car coming. I've even had to stop people. Hold on. Don't close that. His son's hand is right there. It was about to close the sky cap, about to close the freaking trunk on the kid's hand. All these things, the father wasn't paying attention. It is our responsibility as parents to actually take care of our children. I don't believe that they are taking care of your children. I don't believe that. And I've seen enough people trying to get through some of these protests in their cars that don't want to get out. So the pepper spray doesn't get in.
Now, I'm not saying that they were part of the protest, but to be passing by for an hour and then use what happened, and don't get me wrong, I feel for that 6-month-old and the 2 other kids that were exposed to the pepper spray, but to use that and turn around and get almost $200,000 in a GoFundMe account because your story doesn't fit what potentially happened, that don't sound like responsible people bringing your kids, one of them 6 months old, to a protest that has been known to get violent. And while you're out there for almost an hour, your kids are where exactly? They're back in the car by themselves at 9 o'clock with violence in the street? I am so glad that they were able to bring your child back to life. But it don't look right.
It don't look right because they wasn't supposed to be there. They wasn't supposed to be there. And I think it's more of a con when they take the fact that they wasn't supposed to be there and they were there. When I say they, I mean that the child wasn't supposed to be there. And they do use the situation of the child being there to manipulate people out of money. Or low key, are you just getting paid by the Soros Foundation or one of these groups because now you're doing exactly what they want, which is to show more victims of ICE out here than ICE helping people? I don't know. You leave your comment. You tell me what you think. I think it was all staged. There's plenty other instances. Now, I'm not going to say that ICE doesn't get anything wrong. That's crazy to even say that. But I believe there is a level of intentional malice and destruction and harm that is being put in ICE's way so they can now be responsible for some of this. And it's meant to design and is designed to gain the sympathy of the masses. If I'm wrong, you tell me, you let me know. Okay? You let me know.